lost boys and lost girls. Welcome to the Second Star Channel. Today's video is another in the series that I am calling Amusing History, a monthly series where I cover the history and some fun facts on one of Disney Parks' attractions. And continuing with the theme of Holiday Month on Second Star Channel, this month's Amusing History will focus on the last ride at Disneyland that I have covered to have a holiday overlay. Of course, I am talking about the Jungle Cruise, or as it's known during the holidays, the Jingle Cruise. Without further ado, here we go. The Jungle Cruise project was placed on schedule to open with the July 17, 1955 debut of Disneyland, which it did. When it debuted, the Jungle Cruise was a serious trip through exotic locations. For the first few years, it was more of a documentary-style attraction. There were no jokes on the early ride. Granted, there were a few select jokes that were in the early script, but they were intended to be used to amuse groups in case of a boat breakdown. The tone of the ride didn't incorporate the humor it is known for today until the early 60s. All of the funny scenes and jokes were added years later, and thank goodness. The ridiculously bad jokes delivered with perfect monotonous tone are the best part of the ride for many people, including myself. Sources of the inspiration for the attraction include a 1955 true-life adventure, The African Lion, about a pride of lions, and the film The African Queen. Imagineer Harper Goff referenced the African Queen frequently in his ideas. Even his designs of the ride vehicles were inspired by the steamers used in the film. When plans began to develop, Bill Evans, the Imagineer responsible for landscaping Disneyland and most of Walt Disney World, faced the daunting task of creating a convincing jungle on a limited budget. Aside from importing many actual tropical plants, he made wide use of character plants, which, while not necessarily exotic, could give the appearance of exoticism in context. In a particularly well-known trick, he uprooted local orange trees and replanted them upside down, growing vines on the exposed roots. When Walt was first planning the attraction, he wanted to use live animals. A zoologist convinced him that many of the animals were nocturnal, leaving daytime guests to see exciting views of cat-napping creatures. That's when Walt opted for creatures that he could control. For a time, however, the ride queue did feature live alligators. Walt Disney drove a car through the dry riverbeds to promote the ride. As Disneyland was being constructed, Walt often gave TV viewers a preview of what was being built on his show Walt Disney's Disneyland, which aired from 1954 to 1959. Before the Jungle Cruise had water, he drove a Nash Rambler, one of the show's sponsors, through the riverbeds to show off Schweitzer's Falls and the crude mechanics of the animals. This is the ride that inspired Walt Disney to view his park as never complete. It may just be a legend, but the story goes like this. Walt Disney was strolling through Disneyland when he heard a young boy asking his mom to take the 8-minute trip through the jungle. Not even slowing her stride, the mother replied something to the effect of, "No, we did that last time we were here." Hearing that, Walt Disney decided that he had to keep changing and improving things in order to keep guests coming back. Jungle Cruise skippers often go on to bigger and better things. Famous wisecracking skippers include Kevin Costner, John Lasseter, and President Nixon's press secretary Ron Ziegler. John Lasseter has declared that it's the best ride in the whole park. The water itself is cleaner than it actually looks. The murky water passengers sail through is dyed brown, dark green, or muddy blue. The coloring serves two purposes. It provides a more realistic portrayal of the swampy waters, and it also gives the illusion that the water is deeper than it actually is. The water of the Jungle Cruise is approximately 5 feet deep and is part of the park's dark water system, which circulates through southward from northern end of Frontierland's Rivers of America through Fantasyland and creates the moat of Sleeping Beauty Castle. The water's journey continues, flowing past Frontierland's entrance and into Adventureland, where it meanders alongside the Tiki Room before entering the Jungle Cruise beside the ride's exit. The water returns to the south end of the Rivers of America via a 37-inch diameter underground pipe near Tarzan's treehouse. Originally, the Jungle Cruise waterway was 1,920 feet in length before being slightly shortened and rerouted in 1994. Disney was thrifty when it came to the airplane used in the ride. If you gather up the cash for a Lockheed Model 12 Electra Junior airplane, you might as well get your money's worth. right? Disney used the back half of the scene near the Jungle Cruise's Hippopool at the Magic Kingdom, and in front half of the Casablanca scene in the Great Movie Ride at Hollywood Studios. Some of the special effects are pretty low tech. Think the animals' glowing eyes are some sort of high-tech special effect? Nope, they're really just marbles with reflective coating. The Disneyland boats run on a guide rail. One of the boats actually sank. Perhaps its name was prophetic, because Sankaroo Sadie at Magic Kingdom did in fact sink. In 2004, the boat took more water than it could hold and went under. Though given how shallow most of the water is, it probably didn't go far. The boat was refurbished and still runs today. Actually, 2 boats have sank in all of Jungle Cruise history. The Sankaroo Sadie in Orlando and the Kissimmee Cape in Anaheim. The Kisser sank in the late 80s when a skip drove it out of the boat storage with the boat guides in the wrong place. The guide rail ripped the bow of the boat, causing it to slowly fill with water and sink. Have you ever wondered why Jungle Cruise guides fire only 2 shots from their pistols? This is actually code for all clear and letting the rest of the cast members know the location of the current cruise. The different code sequences are 2 shots, which means all clear, 3 shots that mean that there's a mechanical difficulty that causes the boat to not move, and 4 shots, which mean medical or security emergency, and that everyone proceed at full throttle to the dock. And finally, 6 shots, which means that the boat is derailed and cannot move. There used to be a Katharine Hepburn cameo. The ride was largely inspired by the movie The African Queen, starring Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn. As a somewhat macabre homage of the film, the Florida Jungle Cruise once featured a little nod to Hepburn, literally. Near the end of the ride, Trader Sam the headhunter cheerily holds up a couple of shrunken heads. Trader Sam has a deal for you. 2 of his heads for 1 of yours, is how the joke typically goes. Riders who look closely would have noticed that one of Sam's shrunken heads looked an awful lot like Hepburn. Ed Sullivan rode the Jungle Cruise in a 1959 Kodak commercial. If you want to see what Jungle Cruise looked like just a few years after Disneyland's opening day, check out this commercial for Kodak's innovative new Brownie camera, available for just $74.50. Disneyland's Jungle Cruise features a palm tree that predates the park. With all the vegetation around the park, have you ever wondered what's the oldest tree? No, it's not the Pisa Petrified Forest. Rather, it's very much alive. Located just outside the entrance of the Jungle Cruise in California is a large palm tree. Referred to as a Dominguez Palm, this bit of vegetation has been around way longer than Mickey has been. It dates back to 1896 to be exact. It's named after the family who lived there before the land became a theme park. The rancher who sold the land to Disney requested that this particular tree be spared, and Disney obliged, moving all 15 tons of tree from the parking lot area to Adventureland. If you were to visit the ride from early November to early January at both Disneyland and Magic Kingdom in Orlando, there seems to be a bit of a mess around the cruise. Crates of decoration are ransacked by the animals, and the jungle has a bit of a jolly feel to it. Since 2013, a Christmas overlay called Jingle Cruise has run through the holiday season of Magic Kingdom and Disneyland versions of the Jungle Cruise. This overlay is different from that of It's a Small World and Haunted Mansion holiday because it prides itself on not being so fancy. The location of Jungle Cruise ride is at a skipper's lodge deep into the jungle. So it would have seemed out of place for the decorations to be as elegant as in It's a Small World and Haunted Mansion. Instead, the ride is decorated with snowflakes made from popsicle sticks, rickety Christmas lights, and handmade Christmas presents. The names of the boats are re-themed and are more festive with a piece of wood covering the real name of the boat and adding a holiday flair to it. Also, the front sign is changed with a wooden eye covering the U in jungle, hence the name Jingle Cruise. The script of the skipper's ad-lib is slightly altered to accommodate more festive themed jokes, like how the elephants now have new pool toys since the wreaths were dropped in, and the old saying, "Snowman left behind." This ride is a great experience with the festive overlay and is a must-do during my holiday visits to the park. And there you have it, Lost folks. Hopefully you learned a thing or two from this in-depth history on the Jungle Cruise. What's your favorite fun fact that I mentioned? Let me know in the comment section. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. To stay in the loop and be informed of all history and fun facts Disney, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, keep on flying second star to the right and straight on till morning.